Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Michelle is a big supporter, and so we're thrilled that we can actually sit down and chat with you a little bit and share it with everybody else.
On this
So,
beautiful day.
thank you so much, first of all, for your generosity and for your
Amazing.
support. We really, really appreciate it. And we actually know barely know anything about you. So,
Yeah.
why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. So, like you guys said, I'm Michelle. I'm from Ohio, from the Akron area. So, if you watch any basketball, the area that LeBron's from,
Oh,
I,
yeah.
everybody knows LeBron.
Exactly. We at least know LeBron.
I know Akron better really than I know LeBron because I spend every summer of my life in Cleveland, and
Okay.
I just know the general areas. I
Okay.
love Ohio.
Looking nice.
Really?
Oh, I came from Laredo, Texas. Going to Cleveland was like going to Oz for me.
Well, I was a health and phys ed teacher for 14 years, and I got laid off. Gosh, it must have been like 2011-ish. I had lost my mom in 2010 to breast cancer. I had to have a double mastectomy, and then I lost my teaching
Oh,
position,
great.
that like my only real job that I had had, and it was kind of like just floundering. And so I really wanted to find something that I was passionate about, that I loved doing, and that my mom would want to be a part of. So I started doing some personal training and working with people that actually wanted to get healthy and change their lives, and just loved it. And through CrossFit, I was able to. That's the kind of training that I did. I was able to surpass all the doctors' expectations. They had, when they went in for my mastectomy, they ended up having to take part of my pec out, and it was just a mess. And they're like, "Oh, you're never going to be able to do these things again." And through my support system and CrossFit, I've been able to surpass all those expectations. So that's kind of what we wanted to give to other people. And so we opened up a gym where that's our focus, is that anybody can work out, and it's just you trying to surpass expectations, whether they're yours or the ones that people place on us. And so it's been awesome. It's been an amazing ride. I left my full-time teaching job this January and just work at the gym full time, and I love it. It's amazing.
What exactly is the difference? I mean, what is CrossFit exactly?
So it's a different methodology is what it is. So a lot of people um, will do all cardio workouts or all weight training workouts, and we combine the cardio, the metabolic conditioning, weight training, and like gymnastics movements like pull-ups and things like that. And there's modifications for everything along the way. And I think that's where a lot of people just hear CrossFit and they're like, oh, that's crazy, I can't do that. Well, there's all these different steps and
Mm-hmm.
pieces, and there's tricks to everything. So like, a lot of people that could never climb the rope in PE class, they're doing it now in their 40s and 50s, and it's awesome to see. We have one member, I think she's 62, and she climbs up that rope, and her friends give her a hard time about women shouldn't lift more than 12 pounds and this and that. And she's like, look at my muscles. It's awesome.
That's great.
So what is, I mean, just because I was never able to relate, so it always fascinates me. What does sport or exercise or, fitness, what does that mean to you? Why is it something that you're so passionate about?
My mom was also a physical education teacher, and I grew up, and it was just a norm. It was just something that we did. And so for me, it's got a lot of family ties. So my mom and my stepdad, they played on a co-ed soccer team, and my stepbrother and I would go up and we'd watch their games, and at halftime, we'd go out on the field and shoot with all the other kids. And that was what we did on Friday night. So a lot of it is that kind of nostalgia, and I love the endorphins that I get from it too. Like I hate the workout while I'm doing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm like everyone else.
Good
I
to know.
hate it with a passion. But afterwards I'm like, oh, I feel so good.
All right, so then
And
that sounds a lot more.
Yeah.
No, I can relate to that.
yeah, no, anyone who tells you that they like it in the moment is probably pulling your chain a little bit. That's what they're supposed to say. I mean, I'm cussing my head coach out. He comes up with all the workouts. I'm yelling at him, and as he's telling me to go faster, I'm like, "Get away from me! I'm trying not to die."
Okay,
But
well, I feel better about
after it's
myself
great.
now.
Well, I played tennis at high school PE, so that's probably why I never grew up with much of a passion for exercise. I like sport. I like sailing, and I used to like softball, and
Yeah.
I was even straight when I liked softball.
You see, and then what happened?
But
And then what brought you over, right?
I was never an exerciser.
And now I'm curious because you were a very very generous contributor to
Unbelievable.
Lady Parts, and I hadn't even heard your name before you did that.
Yeah, I'm a lurker. I just like lurk around and read different things and watch different things, and I was like, oh, like this is actually something that I can like get behind. I love Wentworth. Obviously, I'm a big supporter of the lesbian community and women's rights, and so like you are our core values kind of align, and so as I'm looking for causes that I want to align myself with, that is something that obviously resonates, and
Well,
that's kind of what I like.
you're amazing, and we appreciate so much, both financially, but
The support.
the support,
It
really.
really means a lot. So now I know you.
Well, we appreciate what you do and give us the support group for Wentworth.
Well,
Wow.
so I know you want to talk about it. I can sense that you've been waiting to talk about it. And actually, I know that we've been trying to do this vlog for a while now, but maybe it was meant to be the day after.
The day after the finale.
I did actually say that to Diane today. We had to take one of the cats to the vet, and I was like, I really think that this is the best time I could talk about this, because up until this point, I've been really irritated a lot this season.
Yeah, truly, I think we all feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was on Snapchat last night, and I didn't realize until after the episode, and got a couple of pictures of me as I'm like standing up and like leaning over, like there was no sitting and watching. I'm up and pacing.
That's Wentworth at its best. It's supposed to keep you like that, barely breathing, and
Yeah, I totally agree. So this one, I said, I think I commented somewhere that this kind of redeemed the season for me, because I was really very upset a lot of the season.
All of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it doesn't make it up for it, but it definitely
it did redeem it. I think that's a very good word for it. It doesn't make up for everything, but it really left you with a very good taste, and looking forward to the next season.
Exactly, because I was kind of to the point where I was like I know you guys talked about watching Orange is the New Black and how it's kind of like I have to get through it, and that's almost where I was at. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch next season, because I'm just so annoyed every time I watch it, and now I'm like, oh my god, is it ready yet?
Yeah, I felt exactly the same way. Leron would say, "Okay, it's Tuesday." I'd say, "Oh, all right."
And the thing is that I I mean, there are some shows that might not be that great, but we watch them anyway. I mean, I wouldn't stop watching them. But then Wentworth, we get so invested that it really hurts our feelings when they do something that we really really don't like, or that they
do so many things that we really really don't like.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, I have to break up with you. I just can't even anymore. So
that's exactly what it feels like. And I'm a big frigid shipper. And
who isn't?
It's really like, and I always joke that I'm like dead inside. I don't even feel anything. And this season, I was like, oh god, you guys are killing me. Like, I don't even feel emotion, and I'm destroyed.
Yeah, no, I mean it was very angsty the entire time, and I don't appreciate that, but they did give us a little hope in the end.
Well, that's up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. That's what I said to Leron and said, "Oh well," I said, "No. She didn't. Her response was unreadable."
No. Yeah, I even went back and looked, and I was like, "Man, there's not a whole lot there. There's just."
Well, I think she was surprised.
Yeah, but it was only surprise. Like at some point, you would think you'd see like some glimmer of. Like, even when
she was only there for a second and a half to say, "I love you and I'll be back," and she ran away. So she didn't even have time to really, I think, process everything. And I think that she was also confused about whether or not she was happy to see her or just upset that she escaped. What does it all mean? But
I'm sure.
You what?
I'm sure that there were mixed emotions with it, but I don't know. I'm just, they've always been so good about giving us something. Like even when Bridget went in to see Frankie, like, and said okay at the end, you kind of saw that spark in her eyes again, and we didn't get any of that. It was just the what?
Well, to me, the one good thing about that scene that made me happy was when I realized when they had, when I saw the psychology clinic or whatever, and I thought, okay, so she's going to Bridget. What? So now Bridget will have to be harboring a
A
fugitive, and that
fugitive.
will. But she didn't. She didn't even cross the sidewalk from. She just across the street. I love you. I'll be back. And so I at least appreciated that Frankie, even though I don't know where she'll go and who she'll turn to. I mean, she could turn to her dad, I guess, or Shane. But I mean, it's all pretty risky. But she at least had the respect to not put her in that situation, and so
They
that was
did
good.
everything right this episode. They
Yeah,
really did.
for one.
For
Yeah.
what? Absolutely. It was miraculous. I have to say, as far as
So I have to turn her down because otherwise it clips my. I mean, it gets too loud.
yeah, I tend to project.
She gets excited.
Well,
She's
I
passionate.
also tend to project. Um,
all those years in acting
yeah.
school.
I've lost my train of thought now, which is what
can I
happens.
do?
The only thing that I found redeeming about Bridget and Frankie's problems were that it really gave Libby a chance to show off. They finally gave her some real meat, and she was able to show a lot of different colors and emotions, and I appreciated that.
So I
Mm-hmm.
did not like Frankie in season 1, and it wasn't. I like Bridget and what she brings out in Frankie.
Exactly.
Right.
So seeing Frankie kind of revert back to that has been difficult, and watching what it does in turn to Bridget has been very difficult. And we've had the conversation, because I have a whole group of friends, and actually a lot of people at the gym now watch Wentworth.
Uh-huh.
So you have the water
You have
cooler talks.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of us have been concerned about Frankie escaping, but Bridget in turn getting arrested, especially after talking to the other psychologist about
Mm-hmm.
Iman for, accessory or harboring or anything, and in kind of those roles getting reversed, and that would like gut me.
You know what? Everything is up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen in season 6?
I know. And so I really, I'm not sure how that's going to play out. And so that was really what kept running through my head. And I did appreciate the fact of Frankie finally really saying I love you, and you being able to feel that, and it wasn't just a response to something she didn't like happening. It was her going out of her way to make sure that Bridget knew that.
Yeah, I this episode, we had the relationships, we had people showing each other love and sacrificing for one another.
The old days.
Yeah. And if they can, and I know it's always a problem because they finish writing and they start shooting before we finish the season and before they really have a chance to see the reactions from the audience. So I don't know how much they were aware of all the mistakes that they made in season 5 and how much they'll be able to fix in season 6. But
They made a good step forward in the finale.
well, because it's the finale. But
still, they remembered
they
that
sacrificed the entire season to get to that finale. As far as I'm concerned, they probably wrote the finale first and then backtracked and said, "How can we get here?" And
yes,
that's
but
why
they
they
still
sacrificed.
should have remembered that there were relationships.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We cared about, and that was missing. All the heart was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very plot driven, like you guys have talked about. I 100% agree with that. And now thinking if they really did write the finale first and then move backwards, that does make a lot of sense with some of the decisions that they've made. Not that I agree with them, but they were trying to get somewhere. I don't necessarily like the path that they took to get there, but
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, I don't know that they wrote the finale first, but to me, I think that the end, they knew how they wanted this to end before they even did season 5, because before they did season 4, because 4 and 5 kind of seemed like a package to me. Like they wanted to get to Ferguson's death, but they wanted to do it they knew where they wanted to end up, but they had to get there. And I think that in order to get there, they cut a lot of corners and they bent too many characters to their will. So I'm just hoping that now that they're done with that, and they can start with something else. Hopefully, I mean, we're all talking.
are they? But are they?
I can just see her clawing her way out and seeing her hand come out of the dirt. But I am choosing for my own sanity until that happens to believe she's dead.
I think they would be crazy to have her look at Bee's picture and scream and have that finish off the season, and then to have her come back. I think people would riot in the streets. I mean, it would be just too much.
Well, the box broke though.
I told you that.
The
But that
box broke,
also
but
would
dirt
make
came
dirt
in.
come in more.
Yeah, but I don't know. And then is Will gonna really be able to let it happen?
Well, see, this is why I think that they started him off on his existential crisis, like we said, that he was, oh, the criminal justice is just broken, it's not working, and then he goes over and think about all the things that she's done to people since he didn't let her burn. And then he cares about Kaz now, and she's at risk too. And but then you know what? Even if she lives, even if she manages to somehow break that box, dig herself out, she's free. So unless she commits another crime, which is very possible, and lands herself back in Wentworth, she's free. So even if she's free, fine, go do something, whatever you want. Just don't come back to my show, you know.
But people are going to be looking for both of them.
That's
And
what I
and
said. That's what I told
Ferguson's
Ron.
very like she doesn't blend well.
So she can't fade into the woodwork.
That's
No,
a good one. She
like
doesn't blend.
Frankie could blend a little bit, but I don't see Ferguson being able to blend. She.
Yeah, it will be interesting. And I have to say, and I'm going to say it again in Talking Teal, and I'll be repeating myself a lot, but even though I thought the whole escape plan was, convoluted and kind of not really all that, I mean, it was a little silly, but seeing Frankie run out there in freedom was really exciting. And
It was very rewarding.
And the thought of all of season 6, seeing her on the outside, though it does, I don't know how well it bodes that she's working on Dr. Doctor at the same time that she's working on Wentworth. I don't know how much she'll figure in season 6, but
we know she's out there.
Because we
Right.
saw that in season 4 when she was out, they didn't really know what to do with her a lot. So, but here she has, she has a quest. She's on a mission. So, and Bridget, trying to recover that relationship. So
And then we have to see what's going to happen when Sonia
Yes.
comes to. I know Sonia's alive because
Oh,
need
they need her.
they need her.
Yeah.
She has to be. Who else is there if Sonia
But
dies?
now Liz is really fucked.
Right. Well, and that's what, as soon as she handed that cup to Boomer, I looked at Diane and I was like, oh my gosh, there's poison in that.
I told Mary too that's when I realized it.
I'm proud of Liz.
Me too.
Yeah.
We felt the same way. She got her balls back. She really
Did.
her lady balls.
Well, she's never done anything like that, so this is, even for her, it's a step up.
Yes, but so then what is that going to do to her mentally? And Boomer at some point's going to figure it out. We
Of
all kind
course.
of
She
Right,
handed
we
her
all
the
kind
cup.
that Boomer just doesn't notice stuff, but she called Frankie out.
Mhm.
She knew exactly what's going on, and I think she picks up more than we give her credit
Oh,
for.
absolutely. I think we've discovered that.
Yeah, I think when I saw, I didn't want Sonya to die, but I thought, oh my god, if she's not dead, then Liz is really fucked. But then I thought, you know what though? But now Sonya will realize that she's not the perfect patsy and that this lame victim. She's somebody that she needs to give her
A
credit.
little bit of credit, exactly.
So it will be interesting.
I can't. I don't know how I'm supposed to wait a year.
I know.
See, but this is exactly how I wanted them to leave us. Whereas the entire season, I was like, oh, all right, well, now I don't care.
I didn't even care about it next week.
Yeah.
Let alone having to wait now in angst for a year and excitement actually.
But
And what's Robbie has to be be that
Will.
Are you there?
Will, I mean, I keep on calling him by his actor name. Will,
his actor name.
I mean his real name.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Vera is still
Vera
Yeah.
now though should be in.
Well, Channing is still in charge, so we'll see.
I can't stand Channing. We always are like this prison is run by the most
terrible people, and that was the other thing that I hated about the season was there was nowhere to turn. There was no hope at all,
Except for Will.
Except for Will
And Vera. But Vera was,
but Vera
was
wasn't in any
compromised.
kind of a position to help anybody.
Right. And I am very interested to see how Jake and Will play out, because Jake at the very minimum, he told Will about this escape plan. Like, they had to at some point work together.
They
to
did.
get
Sure.
Ferguson. And so now there's a loose end there. Like, one of them has to be the loose end. And so what do we do with that? That'll be exciting to see too.
Well, even though I'm happy that Jake did, I mean, obviously Jake had reason to want to get rid of Ferguson as well. So it worked in his benefit. But
Jake had more reason. Will just had,
yes.
revenge on his mind.
Absolutely.
Jake had his life at stake.
But I wouldn't want to have a huge secret that Jake knew, because Jake is
Exactly.
a loser, and I wouldn't
And a
trust
loose
him.
cannon.
Yeah.
Right. He can't be trusted.
No. But, I'm really curious to know what you thought about this season of Orange is the New Black.
You know what? We are only on episode 8, I think. I hadn't read up on it. I hadn't looked at it. Nothing. And so we got like through episode 4 and we were looking at each other and we're like, is this just going to be this the whole season? And so then we looked and indeed it is. And I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that really. I haven't hated it. I really didn't like last season.
Nope.
This I'm enjoying a little bit more because I like the guards seeing what it's like to have that table turned. So I think that's just kind of an interesting dynamic. But
everybody's so stupid.
Well, yeah, everybody is so stupid. I always said that I could totally, if prison is like Orange is the New Black, I can go and I will run the block. We started watching Wentworth, and I was like, I don't want to go there.
No.
No, but the thing is that they have. When I read what it was going to be, to try to avenge, it's kind of again the parallels between the shows.
Yeah.
And that they were taking over the prison, right. And it was going to be only 3 days. I thought, oh my God, so much is going to happen.
Yeah. And a few people told us that this is the best season in a long time.
Yeah. They're rioting, and I thought, oh my God, 13 episodes that are only telling 3 days worth of story. So I thought this has
intense.
To be packed, And then I just see the waste of
It's
time.
all filler. It's all filler.
And their conversations are the most stupid, dull conversations that it's like, are you actually sitting down and writing a script?
It's just
and
asinine.
Writing this dialogue?
I mean, it's like watching paint dry, literally. I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry. Yes, it's just that boring to me. And those two girls, the Asian girl and
So?
No, the other one. Is she a Hispanic Asian? I can't. The one with the long hair.
Give me a little more. What does she do?
I don't know.
What does she do?
She does nothing, but she has another friend, a sidekick. Yeah. And they're totally idiotic.
Floritza.
Oh.
I cannot stand them.
What?
What'd you say?
Floritza actually makes me laugh.
I know, but they're just
but the levels of stupidity.
They're just like stupidity on a stick. They are the dumbest girls, and there's so many of them. And Pensateki, who doesn't have 2 brain cells to rub together, and the 2 blonde, the dumb blondes.
Oh yeah, the method.
Oh my God, it's just
and
one.
Then even Piper and Laura Prepon, Alex. Again, they're also
the level of the discourse is.
I mean, Alex is the only one who actually, when she talks, it sounds remotely intelligent.
And also,
and Nikki sometimes.
I'm thinking of not Tasty.
Tasty. Actually, she's the only one who actually remembers why they're
really
rioting.
Cares.
Yeah, and that's where we are right now. Where Tasty is in negotiations.
Oh, they managed to get their demands out there. Huh?
We haven't gotten past 3.
Don't hold your breath.
That's the other thing. The police.
What's that?
The police are so stupid. They're standing outside, not doing anything.
I can't even. You just wait until the police are ridiculous. So we just watched the O Word little E special thing. Yes! Loved it.
That was fun.
Yes. I'm not, as I tweeted, I am not super happy about who killed Jenny.
Oh, no. And you know what, Shane?
She was just being...
I love Shane actually said the same thing I always say, is that I just pretend season 6 never happened.
Never happened, exactly. Yeah. Except for Lucy Lawless.
And I thought that it was interesting that they even said that looking back, they probably wouldn't do that again.
Well, at the time, the rumor was, and I'm sure there was something to it, though they're not talking about it now. The rumor was that they were going to do a spin-off that was kind of like, I guess, Bad Girls kind of.
Yeah, with Alice having in prison.
And so the entire sixth season was basically a build up to hopefully
To a
launch
sequel.
that, yeah, which never happened. And I never thought it was a really great idea anyway.
And somewhere along the way, obviously they realized it wasn't going to happen, so they didn't have Alice be the killer. Did they?
No. But I always assumed that they were going to start whatever spinoff it was with the discovery that it was Alice. Though I think Alice had the least motive to do that. I mean, there were other
But she
people
had
who
some kind of
motive.
revenge, something too.
I always really thought it was Bet.
Really?
She was the only one that I could see actually being able to do it.
I wouldn't want to think of my Bet, who is such a liberal and has such important, strong core values, to kill somebody, even if Jenny could do that to a person. But anyway,
I don't even remember what Jenny did to everybody at this point. I know is that she just drove me crazy for the last 3 seasons.
That's pretty.
I'm not upset she died. I have a shirt that says I killed Jenny.
Yeah, everybody said that. Everybody said
you got to kill somebody. Let it be Jenny.
Yeah, but Bet's convictions about her family were very strong too.
And what did Jenny do to her family?
She was threatening to tell Tina that Bet cheated on her with the business partner, because she thought she had seen that. Remember it was Jessie Spano from Saved by the Bell. I can't remember her character in the O Word, and she dropped that glass, and Bet had bent down to pick it up, and from Jenny's angle, it looked like.
Oh yes. You see, this is how little this is how much I blocked season 6.
The whole season out, exactly.
I do remember that, but that was so stupid. I mean, Tina would probably believe that because Bet cheated on her before,
right? Yeah. And that's where I could see it have being
right.
Bet.
But I just can't see Bet being a murderer.
No, I don't think she did that. But I think that they did a good job in giving everybody a reason to want to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But when we were watching the reunion, I just said, this is the kind, and I've watched and rewatched the entire show, quite a few times, and I can always just rewatch it. It's just so great.
Well, my level of interest dropped quite severely after Marina was gone.
Which
after
is the
first. Without Marina, to me, there wasn't a reason to live. But so then, I loved Dana. So then, after Dana died, I had even less interest in what was going on. Well, you should have stopped
being interested in people because they kept taking them out.
Well,
well, what I loved is that not only was it a series about us, but it was such a good series.
It was such a good series.
It was really so well written, well acted. Well, I mean, everything. It was actually watching it after I went to college to study television and things. All of a sudden I realized just how much ahead of its time it was in terms of its complexity and its narrative. And
none of those girls hardly have done anything.
Which is why we're saying that a reunion is even more called for, because they're all available almost.
How would we bring Dana back, though?
We wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Although I thought that they had talked about it being like a prequel.
A prequel?
A prequel could be good, though. They all look older now, though they don't really look older, but they certainly don't look 10 years younger.
They don't look 10 years younger, but I don't think that I was looking at them and I was shocked by how
great they look.
No, I mean, they all look great.
Agree.
I just think that making them now like 20 years younger would be a little bit of a stretch. But, whoops, we lost you again. Oh, there you are.
Did we ever actually know their ages, though?
I think they were all in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
I can't remember names anymore at 70. What's Bet's name? Jennifer Beals was like 41 or something.
Yeah, she was the oldest
when
one.
The series started, 41 or 42. But they were all pretty young.
Right, but if we had the characters just depending on where we had kind of aligned them, because like Bet was really well into her career.
Yeah.
So, they would have to, I mean, they could go back to like the beginning, but again, age-wise, it might not be believable.
Well, a prequel would work because then you don't need Jenny, because Jenny was just arrived. But what I thought,
Tina doesn't want to.
Tina doesn't have anything to do with it.
But what I was thinking, actually, I had an idea, especially since it seems like at one point there was a tweet and Catherine Monig, or however you say it, she said something, this is not a reunion. Obviously, it was the reunion for Entertainment Weekly, but this is not an L-Word reunion. If you want a reunion, write to Showtime. So that made me think, okay, so Showtime obviously is not that interested yet. And they have all the characters and everything is all proprietary. So I thought what they could do is they could take everybody, including Aaron, Daniels, everybody, leave the ones who don't want to be in out, and just create a new show with new characters and everything, but in the same vein of the L Word.
Bring back Marina.
Exactly.
Bring back Marina. I'm with you. Marina's my girl. I totally agree. But are they pigeonholed by their fans?
You know what though, if
we could be flexible.
If we take something like American Crime or American Horror Story, then that really showed how you can take the same repertory company of the same actors and shuffle them every season and let them play completely different things, characters. And it works. Because if they're good actors, then they can make it work. And American Crime especially, oh my God.
I can't believe they canceled it.
It's so great to see somebody, an actress like Felicity Huffman, do entirely different things every season, because also it's so delicious to see her play all this huge range.
Because she has such a huge range.
So I think they can do it. I'm all for
I would watch it.
I bet you will.
I think many of us would watch it.
Let's face it, we watch far worse if we just get a little bit of action or some story.
Right. Well, and I think that's something that our community is missing out on. Like, I want to watch shows where I can see somebody that is, somebody I connect with, or a reflection of myself, or someone that I know.
Well, that's our constant complaint.
And it's not just 2 minutes out of an episode, right? Yeah.
And then we die.
Or then we go back to men.
Okay, so here's the thing about SVU. I was like diehard, and then they grew Olivia's hair out, and I was like,
"Are you kidding? You are shallow,
You're
Michelle.
You're even more shallow than Mimi."
I mean, I will watch something because somebody is hot and sexy and beautiful, but I won't stop watching it because they cut their hair and let it grow.
I think we covered a lot.
I think we did. It was fun talking to you.
Yeah, it was very fun talking to you guys. We feel like we know you because we watch you every week. So
we're just who we seem to be.
I appreciate that.
And thanks for everything. We really appreciate it. It was so generous of you, and it really meant a lot to us. And it was people like you, really, that made us decide to continue and do it, because it certainly wasn't the subscription.
Well, we do appreciate it, and it's always nice to have, especially here in the States where Wentworth isn't hugely popular. You don't have a lot of people that you can talk to about it. And like I said, we got a bunch of people at the gym watching it, so we have some people, but they tease me about, they're like, "You're obsessed." I'm like, "I know."